I'm Sherrod Brown. It's an honor to serve the people of Ohio. Welcome to Facebook Live. I'm joined today, special guest. I don't have colleagues on very often, but my longtime colleague, longtime friend, Kirsten Gillibrand, U.S. Senator for New York State, one of the most important states, obviously, in the country to represent. We're joining together in a new bill to ban Federal Reserve officials from trading stocks. You've seen over the past few months, we've seen officials at the Federal Reserve, we've learned, have been buying and selling individual stocks for their own personal gain at the same time as the Federal Reserve was taking extraordinary action that could affect global markets, the same markets, unbelievably, they were trading in. Reporting in September revealed that the two Federal Reserve Bank presidents, one in Boston, one in Dallas, were trading stocks during the pandemic. We've since learned that members of the Federal Reserve Board, Federal Reserve governors, also traded last year. The Fed is the most important institution in our economy. One Nobel Prize winning economist, who is, I believe, a friend of Senator Gillibrand too, he's from New York, Joe Stiglitz called the Federal Reserve the Supreme Court of the U.S. economy. Americans need to be able to trust that officials at the Fed are working in the best interest of the public, not abusing their positions for their own gain. It's why I'm introducing with Senator Gillibrand the Ban Conflicted Trading at the Fed Act. It prohibit all Federal Reserve Board governors and the 12 regional bank presidents. One of those 12 bank presidents is in Cleveland. There are 12 of those scattered around the country, from trading individual stocks. Officials would have 6 months to divest their individual holdings. After that, they'd be subject to substantial fines if they fail to comply with this new law, we hope. The bill would build on the Ban Conflicting Trading Act that I've introduced the past few Congresses that would ban members of Congress from trading stocks and profiting off their positions. Thanks again to Senator Gillibrand. Tell us why it's important to get this bill passed, if you would. Thanks. Welcome.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Sherrod. I really appreciate getting to talk to your supporters and your constituents. It's an honor. This is a very simple bill. The Federal Reserve is responsible for ensuring a safe, stable, fair economy, one that works for all Americans, and public trust in the Federal Reserve is essential in fulfilling its mission. And we all read news reports about members of the Fed buying and selling stocks with possibly non-public information around the financial collapse due to COVID. And it's unacceptable that members of the Fed should be gaining personally on non-public information because of their job when the country is sliding into a recession because of a global pandemic. So we need to know that Federal Reserve officials are being held to the highest ethical standard and we know that throughout the economic crisis caused by the ongoing pandemic, that the Federal Reserve took extraordinary steps to stabilize the economy and financial markets. Yet, at the same time of these unprecedented actions, several top Federal Reserve System officials made multiple stock trades and securities transactions. The American public needs to be confident that the Federal Reserve is acting in the best interest of workers, families, small businesses, and communities that make up our economy, not their own personal financial interests. So this bill that Sherrod and I worked on, the Ban Conflicted Trading at the Fed Act, would basically, just as Sherrod said, strengthen and clarify the ethics requirements at the highest levels of the Federal Reserve System. And it makes sure that Fed officials never have a leg up on investing over hardworking Americans. It also ensures that the Federal Reserve leaders are held to the same standards as members of Congress, which we passed a couple of years ago under the Stock Act. So as Sherrod said, it bans them from trading individual stocks, and it would allow them to only invest in diversified mutual funds or investment trusts or U.S. Treasuries. So it's common sense, it's simple, and it makes sure they have to play by the same rules that any member of Congress would have to play by.
Thank you, Senator Gillibrand. It's exactly right. It's common sense and it's simple. It's what I've lived by. I don't own individual stocks. It's the right thing to do, my job. And I know Senator Gillibrand looks at her job the same way, to serve the people of her state. And you can guess our bill hasn't been necessarily wildly popular among colleagues, but Kirsten's got some real. But it will be. She's got some really good ideas about making this bipartisan. All of us as public officials make decisions that could affect any investment that anybody has. That's why it's so important. People need to, Senator Gillibrand said, people need to have confidence that policymakers are making decisions based on what's best for families in New York State and Ohio, what's best for the economy, not what's best for them. So thank you for joining us, Kirsten. Thank you. Good to see you again on the screen, not just on the Senate floor, and we'll continue to work together. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.